Different team since rookie Jaxson Dart took over for Russell Wilson. They're 2-1 after starting 0-3. The offense is producing top 5 in the league in rushing yards and third down percentage. Led by Dart and fellow rookie Cam Scatterboo, the Giants are back in the New York groove.
Two rookies, 4, 4, and 6, are all over everybody's timeline right now.
What up, Big Blue? It's 4, 4, and 6 in a trap, baby. Wasn't easy, wasn't easy. A lot of big shots. So appreciate you guys for your support on the next week.
Oh, he does a backflip.
But him and Scat actually insane, but I love them, bro. They bring you straight juice and they feel.
It's a daily thing.
I want to do my best to be a spark.
If I'm physical, you want to talk to me.
Try to bring a little bit of swagger.
Hey, Big Blue on 3, 1, 2, 3, baby.
They're having fun in this city, no question about it. There's a lot to dive into in this game, Rex. Let's start with that. There was a suggestion made that maybe Alex didn't want to be here last week to have this argument with you 3 days after that performance on Thursday
Alex
night.
is here because the Denver Broncos are here. They're going to play. So Alex decided to show up early. I think he was here on Friday. But, I mean, literally, this kid has taken the city by storm. What somebody predicted, right? He energized the entire football team and the fan base, and that's important, all right? Now, some of the stuff we saw from Brian Daboll after, I don't get it, Alex. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, I love what Jaxson Dart's been doing. I think we've all been impressed, especially with his athleticism. But for me, it's just way too much recess, right? Like everything is recess ball. And again, he's done a phenomenal job of making plays, but there is no structure. And again, Brian Daboll, you're supposed to be this offensive genius. Can we scheme some stuff open? Again, everything is playground. Run around, make a play. And again, Jaxson Dart, to his credit, has been playing so good. But this guy's been hit more than anybody in football since he took over. You're going to get him killed, and now he's going and playing at Denver against the defense that may break the sack record. Good luck. I think this is going to run out at some point. It's not sustainable. And then, listen, the Brian Daboll catastrophe of running in the medical tent, which, by the way, Jaxson Dart's been in the medical tent twice in 3 games. And we go in the medical tent, right? What are you doing in there? You are the head football coach. In a critical moment, it was a 3rd and potential 4th down situation. Can you imagine Andy Reid or like Mike Tomlin running in the medical tent?
Or like anybody.
What are you doing in there? First off, you have no idea. You're not a doctor. Get the hell out of there. And again, there's critical situation. Coach the football team. That is your job. You paid Russell Wilson $10 million to be there and now be your backup. Like, go execute. Like, I think this screams of desperation. Screams of desperation.
Did Daboll go in the tent before or after Russell Wilson's the ball that was dirted in the ground?
It was all at once. It was all at once.
Because the one thing that you were talking about it last night, and I said that this head coach, Alex, was fighting for his job. But listen, hear me out. You had the defending Super Bowl champions, divisional opponent on the ropes, and my rookie quarterback is in the blue tent. So I don't know where my offense is going right now, but the guy that I substituted in on 3rd down threw one to the ground. So hurry up. Who's ever in this blue tent, hurry up and get him back.
I want to go to that exact moment. He dirted it because there was a miscommunication, right? He thought the receiver was going to sit, and he kept running. Hey, it's your job. Get it fixed, coach. Rectify the situation. I want to pair this with something else. Let's think about Andy Reid a few years ago in the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes goes down with the leg injury. In the 4th quarter, in steps Chad Henne. They go for it on 4th down against the Cleveland Browns and win the ball game, right? We aren't running around hysterically in a medical tent. Like, again, you're the head coach. You are supposed to be level-headed. What does it look like?
Jackson's not going to last if he keeps playing the schoolyard that you're talking about, and he's taking all these hits. Denver, this is real today, though. Okay, Denver, the defense may be the best in the league. Shefty already talked about them about to break the sack record. I mean, this is a big challenge.
Let me play just how ready the Broncos are for this rookie, okay? Because we know these two.
NFL Week 6 narrative shifts. 12 players, coaches making me a believer. Top 5 MVP candidates published. October 6, 2025 at 12:42 a.m. Jeffrey ChatiharNFL.com columnist in the First Red, Jeffrey Chatihar provides a snapshot of the hottest stories and trends heading into Week 6 of the 2025 NFL season, including 3 games worthy of NFL Pro Deep Dive's most intriguing game of Week 6 way too early MVP rankings, but to kick things off, a look at which players and coaches are making me a believer. There comes a time in every NFL campaign when belief is no longer something to fear. The season is so long that it's easy to be impressed by something you see early and then disappointed by how it looks a few months later. The desire to overreact in this league is real. Everyone eventually feels that urge if they spend enough time focusing on these games each week. That's why, when it comes to making proclamations about what's happened thus far, waiting until Week 6 is sensible. Several players and coaches have stood out for the work they've done, and this writer has been dying to weigh in. It would have been too hasty to bring them up in the First Red after Week 1 or 2. Now it feels like the perfect time to delve into the people who've already won me over this season. Here they are. Players rank 1 Sam Darnold. Seattle Seahawks QB. Seattle lost a tough game to Tampa Bay on Sunday partly because a Darnold pass skipped off the helmet of a defender and turned into an interception that set up the Bucs' game-winning field goal. Aside from that bad break, there hasn't been much to criticize about Darnold. He's been exactly what the Seahawks hoped they were getting when they signed him in free agency back in March. Just as importantly, he's proven that his resurgence in Minnesota last year wasn't a fluke. Darnold ranked among the top 10 passers in the league when Week 5 began, and he completed 28 of 33 passes for 341 yards and 4 touchdowns against the Bucs before that pick. Seattle is an improved team. It also doesn't have the same weapons that Darnold enjoyed in Minnesota or the same elite defense. His early success in Seattle is about his growth and the relationship he has with Seahawks offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak. As for the man Darnold replaced in Seattle, well, Geno Smith already has thrown 9 interceptions for the Raiders. The Seahawks played this right. Rank 2 Drake May New England Patriots QB. The Patriots' second-year quarterback already was trending in the right direction prior to Sunday night. However, the way May played in a 23-20 win over Buffalo cemented the fact that he has the goods to be special. He made the play of the night on the game-winning drive, when he stiff-armed 320-pound defensive tackle Daquan Jones long enough to avoid a sack and complete a 12-yard pass to Stefon Diggs. New England's drive could have been dead before it ever started. May jump-started it with that effort and led his team to the first game-winning drive of his career, thanks to a 52-yard field goal from Andy Borregales. May's final numbers were solid, 22-30 for 273 yards, and also representative of the quarterback he's becoming. He can give you the splashy plays. He's also playing consistently, as he came into this weekend leading the league in completion percentage and ranking in the top 6 in passing yards, passer rating, and yards per attempt. The Patriots have done a lot to help May succeed, including bolstering the offensive line and pairing him with Tom Brady's old offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels. The returns are strong so far. Rank 3 Emeka Egbuka. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. W.R. Egbuka figured to be a huge piece of the Bucs' success when the franchise selected him in the first round of this year's draft. He might end up being the most important weapon for this team, given how his career has started. Egbuka has produced 2 consecutive 100-yard performances, including a 7-catch, 163-yard day in Sunday's 38-35 win over Seattle, and he's become a favorite target of quarterback Baker Mayfield. There's no way the Bucs are sitting at 4-1 after all their injuries on offense if Egbuka needed more time to acclimate to the NFL. Now imagine what happens once Mike Evans gets healthy. He's currently sidelined with a hamstring injury, and Chris Godwin gets comfortable after returning to the field recently from a dislocated ankle sustained last season. Egbuka has already won NFL Offensive Rookie of the Month honors for September. He might be the runaway favorite for Offensive Rookie of the Year once October ends. Rank for Javonte Williams. Dallas Cowboys. Albeit was hard to know what the Dallas running game was going to look like when the season began, largely because there were so many questions about its ball carriers. That is no longer the case. Williams has emerged as the top option in the Cowboys' backfield and one of the best comeback stories of the year. He was so underwhelming in his final 2 seasons in Denver, averaging 3.6 yards a carry during that time, that the Broncos let him walk in free agency this past offseason. Williams is now averaging 5.7 yards per carry to go along with 447 rushing yards and a career-high 5 touchdowns on the season. He produced 135 yards and a touchdown on just 16 carries, and added a receiving TD in the Cowboys' win over the Jets, which is further proof that the serious knee he sustained in 2022 is fully behind him. Dallas has its problems. Williams isn't one of them. Rank 5J.K. Dobbins. Denver Broncos. AB Denver found a huge bargain in Dobbins, who had to wait until June to find a new home after entering the offseason as one of the more productive backs from last season. He accepted a 1-year, $5.25 million deal, which was an indication that he'd be a complement to second-round pick R.J. Harvey. The numbers now tell a different story 5 games into the season. Dobbins has more than twice as many rushing attempts as Harvey, 77-31, and has also been one of the top rushers in the league through 5 weeks, with 402 yards and 4 touchdowns. Anybody who watched Dobbins play with the Chargers last season could see his talent, as he gained 905 yards and scored 9 touchdowns. The questions about him have always revolved around health, since he's never played a full season in his 6-year career. Given Dobbins' history, it's likely that he will be dealing with something at some point in the coming months. It's also fair to say he'll be a difference maker for Denver as long as he remains on the field. It's not a coincidence that this team has won 2 straight games and found more consistency in its offense as Dobbins has received more carries, 36 attempts for 180 yards in that span. He looks very much like the back head coach Sean Payton has coveted for this offense during the previous 2 years. Rank 6 Quentin Johnston Los Angeles Chargers W. Johnston is another player who makes this list despite a rough ending to Week 5. Even with a lost fumble that swung the momentum in his team's 27-10 loss to Washington, Johnston has been one of the most improved players in the league this year. He underwhelmed in his first 2 seasons, largely because of his penchant for drops. This year, he's proving why the Chargers invested a first-round pick in him during the 2023 draft. Johnston came into Week 5 ranked 5th in the league in receiving yards, and his early success has him on pace for nearly 90 catches, 1,300 yards and double-digit touchdowns by the end of the season. Skeptics may wonder if Johnston can keep that momentum going, but he has some nice factors working in his favor. He'll receive less focus from opposing defenses because they have to contend with slot receiver Ladd McConkey and savvy veteran Keenan Allen. Quarterback Justin Herbert also clearly has faith in what Johnston has become and looks for him often. If the Chargers can resolve their offensive line issues, they continue to lose more players to injuries and are currently playing without both starting offensive tackles. Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt Johnston should continue growing.